Yo, what up guys, Slow-Mo is back hitting you with another video, and today I'm going to talk about a game that I haven't really talked about in a good little while, and that's Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite, the delayed Halo Infinite that is. And so a lot of people have been discussing why Halo Infinite got delayed, and the primary reason that people have come to the conclusion is that it just didn't show well. Now, in looking at the Xbox game showcase and looking at Halo Infinite, I thought the gameplay looked great. Thought the gameplay really showed well. It looked like Halo, trademark old school Halo, but the visuals definitely were not up to par. The draw distance wasn't great. The pop in, we can go on and on. Everyone has talked about it already, but that is primarily the reason why so many people think Halo Infinite got delayed. And I do believe that is definitely a big contributing reason why it got delayed, but I am kind of thinking it may be more than that. So follow my train of thought here. And I said this in the previous video about my concerns with Halo Infinite, and one of those concerns is that they were doing way too many callbacks to Halo Combat Evolved. I mentioned how Master Chief and this Marine landing on the ring was very reminiscent of the Master Chief landing on the ring at the beginning of Halo Combat Evolved on the second mission. I brought up how reminiscent it was that in the demo, the gameplay demo that we saw, that the Master Chief had to take down 3 points that the Banished were holding after he landed. Very reminiscent to how when the Master Chief in Combat Evolved landed on the very first Halo ring, he had to take out 3 controlled areas that the Covenant were holding. I just saw way too many similarities in the story there. They got me thinking about movies that have done things similar to this, where, for example, the Star Wars The Force Awakens. Decent movie, not that great, but a big concern and complaint with that movie is that it seemed to follow the format of its predecessor, A New Hope, way too closely. A lesser known movie, Predators, with Adrian Brody taking the role of Arnold Schwarzenegger, was a remake of the original movie, but wasn't a remake as far as the story and plot goes. But it literally did everything that the first movie did, to the point where you could predict what was happening next if you saw the previous movie. These were the kind of things that were in my mind, and a concern I was having seeing some of the story points for Halo Infinite. And so I wonder, with the addition of Joseph Staten to the staff there, whether the decision to delay the game had a bit more to do than the game not showing well. Now, if you're not aware of Joseph Staten's background, let me fill you in. Joseph Staten was the director of cinematics at Bungie, and by the time Microsoft was acquiring Bungie, he was writing the story and directing the cinematics for the entire game. His experience, Joseph was the head writer for Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2. He wrote the book Halo Contact Harvest. He was writing Halo 3, Halo Reach. He was a creative consultant to make sure that the cinematic universe was correct in Halo Wars for Ensemble. He was the creative director for Halo 3 ODST and the writer, as well as moving on to write a novella, Halo Shadow of Intent. Joseph Staten, his entire career has been based on writing stories. If the issue with Halo Infinite is it visually does not look next gen, which is an issue, what does adding Joseph Staten do to fix that? It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't fix anything to do with the visuals. What's the real reason Jason's here? Now, I have my own theory, completely unconfirmed, so take it as it is a theory, that Joseph Staten will eventually end up being the head of 343 Industries, maybe in a couple years, but of course that's not happening at this point. What is he doing right now for Halo Infinite? Well, of course what he's doing right now is he's fixing the story. He's making a Halo story for Halo Infinite that will be, hopefully, a well-received entry into this series. Coming off the heels of Halo Guardians, where there were missteps made when it came to the campaign, you want to make sure that you nail the story. You want to make sure that you nail the campaign. You want to make sure that Halo fans feel like this is the best Halo game that 343 has ever made. And so in order to do that, you bring in someone who, if anyone knows what a Halo story should feel like. It is the guy that has been influential in the best Halo games and their stories, period. So I feel like the reason why we don't even have a date in 2021 on when Halo Infinite will be available is because they don't know. It'll be ready when it's ready. And I feel like they're going to do a lot of retooling to this campaign to make it better, which there's a flip side to that. It's good that they're not just releasing something that they don't feel is quality, that they don't feel is the best it could be. But history dictates to us that this is normally a bad sign. When we've seen studios bring in writers to fix stories, it normally has not bode well for the final product. When we've seen campaigns and stories need major reworks before they come out, it usually does not end with a great story. I think the best example of it working somewhat well was Uncharted 4. There were issues with where the story was going with Amy Hennig. Neil Druckmann comes in, they make some changes to the story, it was okay. But many who liked the Uncharted series didn't feel like it was the best story of the series. Anthem is another example. Here's the crazy thing about Anthem. Anthem has had the lead writer for the Dragon Age game on the project, he left. The lead writer for the Mass Effect trilogy on the game, he left. And look at the story that was left there. It was abysmal. It just doesn't bode well for the overall product. It doesn't bode well for how this campaign may turn out. Now, I'm not passing judgment. I want the best Halo game that they can make, but I have to acknowledge that this isn't a good look. But you guys let me know what you guys think about what the real reason is for Halo Infinite being delayed. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you liked the video, hit the dislike button if you didn't, it's all good, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this in the future. Peace.